Hey, today I wanted to talk about How to Stop Time by Matt Haig, which is this beautiful book right here. I think I've mentioned it before in a video, but I can't quite remember that I first found this book in an airport bookstore and was immediately attracted to the cover. I'd never heard of it before, but I was attracted to the cover, I read it over, and I thought, wow, that sounds amazing, and then for some reason didn't pick it up. If you are familiar with Matt Haig, you might realise that he does quite like his Twitter, and it's through Twitter that eventually I saw so many positive reviews about this book that I thought, duh, should have picked it up. And eventually I did, and now I can say that I've read it and absolutely loved it. I was excited for a very long time to have this book in my hands, reading it, and it's safe to say it does not disappoint at all. The story, in short, is about a very, very old man, not 90s or 100s year old man, 437 years old, I believe the main character of this story is. Very much an inner monologue and self-reflective piece about his life and everything he's lived through in the 437 years he has been alive and what he is hoping for in the future. If you like to be nostalgic and you like romance and trying to figure out what your place is in the universe, this is definitely a book you will enjoy the themes of. The story flicks between the present and the past, as the main character, whose name is Tom in the present, kind of reflects on his past, and he's struggling with headaches because of all the memories he has to hold in his brain, which is obviously quite a lot. There's so many interesting memories in here, such as witch hunts and when he meets Shakespeare. So also, I guess if you're into history, this might be quite interesting as well. As Tom struggles with these migraines, he kind of becomes panicky about the future and what his life is going to be, whether it's going to be a recurrence of pain or whether he can find some happiness. I had never read any Matt Haig before this, and this is the only thing I've read by him now, but I do love his writing style. It's very easygoing and this flowed very nicely. I like how he's very modern and draws on references of social media. He's quite the Twitter fan. If you are not familiar with him already, just one glance at his feed and you can probably guess that he's quite a fan of Twitter. I like that he's very culturally aware, and this would appeal to so many people, and particularly people of my age. So aside from the charming storyline and Matt Haig's wonderful writing, I loved the relatability to this book. Certainly if you're quite like me and you go through stages of not really knowing what you should be doing or what the right path for you is, I thought this was very uplifting, although sad in some senses. It takes you through a roller coaster of emotions, through sadness and happiness. There's the love element that I mentioned. Overall, I don't know what else to say, it's just amazing and I recommend it to everybody. As usual, I'll just read a little bit of the beginning so you can kind of get a feel for what I've told you about with the writing style, etc. I am old. That is the first thing to tell you, the thing you are least likely to believe. If you saw me, you would probably think I was about 40, but you would be very wrong. I am old. Old in the way that a tree or a quail clam or a Renaissance painting is old. To give you an idea, I was born well over 400 years ago on the 3rd of March 1581 in my parents' room on the 3rd floor of a small French chateau that used to be my home. It was a warm day, apparently, for the time of year, and my mother had asked her nurse to open all the windows. God smiled on you, my mother said, though I think she might have added that, should he exist, the smile had been a frown ever since. My mother died a very long time ago. I, on the other hand, did not. You see, I have a condition. I thought of it as an illness for quite a while, but illness isn't really the right word. Illness suggests sickness and wasting away. Better to say I have a condition. A rare one, but not unique. One that no one knows about until they have it. And I'm gonna leave that there. That was the pretty much the very first thing. It's right as you get into part 1. The last thing I'm going to mention is that another reason I wanted to read this quite quickly is because the film is coming out this year and I wanted to beat that. But that sounds, from what I've heard so far, it sounds like it's going to be amazing. I'm really interested to see how they depict Tom, because I have a very strong image of him in my head and I would love to see what he's going to be like. All I know so far is that Benedict Cumberbatch is going to play him, and he looks nothing from what I've seen of him before like I imagine Tom at all. Actually, I imagine Tom to look like Matt Haig. So but anyway, I just thought I'd mention that because it's interesting and I'm looking forward to the film. And that wraps up my review on How to Stop Time by Matt Haig. I hope you have enjoyed it. And if you have read this already, I would love to know what you thought of it too. And if you haven't read it, as I mentioned, there's been so many positive reviews on this as well as mine. I really don't think you'll be disappointed if you try it. And I think that's all I have to say, apart from thank you for watching, and I will see you again soon.